Reddit does not like me. In fact, it doesn't like any One Piece YouTubers. Don't know why. Maybe it's because sitting behind your monitor in your parents' basement and typing anonymously seems to give many people a very false sense of superiority. But pretty much every week there is a brand new thread about One Piece YouTubers. But this time around, I got very lucky. Because the weekly YouTube, I don't know, what's the opposite of a circle jerk? The weekly YouTube Reddit chastity meeting focused entirely on me, with a thread titled Bring Back the Old Grand Line Review, which got 2K upvotes and an astounding 666 comments. So I thought that we would take a look at this week's complaints. I stopped watching his videos when he tried to add more humor and personality on his reviews, since he doesn't seem to be a charismatic dude who can afford to do that. I honestly think that's fair enough. My humor and personality aren't for everyone, and it took me a long time to find my footing on camera. Arguably, still haven't found it. I stopped watching him during the huge character popularity poll, where he thought that it was funny to troll the poll, which is funny because it rhymes. Troll the poll by getting Whoop Slap so high up. Now, in my defense, it was funny, and the official organizers of the poll even agreed. Shueisha thought that the mighty Whoop Slap penetrating the top 50 was so great that they actually used it as marketing material for the World Top 100 poll, and have since gone on to create a series of Whoop Slap figurines as a result. I really should make a whole video on that, because the Whoop Slap story, even without my involvement, is so amazing. And in the end, it's not like we were electing a president. It was an online poll about people's favorite comic book pirates. Realistically, the biggest impact my actions had was pushing Pell out of the top 50, which, to be fair, that would have changed our lives forever. If Pell was in the top 50, then we would have universal healthcare, free tertiary education, and of course, cured world hunger. But no, I just had to be a troll and get some people to vote for Whoop Slap, and now you will have to suffer. Used to watch all his videos on chapter summaries. Now they're 95% filler and 5% vague allusions to what goes on in the manga. Was seriously starting to annoy me. Now I just read it myself. So, just to be clear, this person actually used to watch my videos as a substitute for actually reading One Piece. Why? Because I think I understand what the problem is here. I do not and have never done chapter summaries. What I do is review chapters, which consists of giving my subjective opinions on the events that have occurred, how they were implemented, how they made me feel, and how we go forward from there. Do not watch One Piece YouTubers as a substitute for actually reading the series. Even the ones that straight up do recaps, because you are doing yourself a big disservice. I can see Liam reading this post and thinking that this will be a good video topic. Get out of my head. Die a hardcore fan or live long enough to become a money-hungry clickbaiter. They have no standards anymore. Their main reason for posting videos isn't because they are a fan. It's for money. Shameless. Alright, let's do some maths here. Let's say that everything this user is saying is true and money is my sole goal in life. Even with that incredibly disingenuous motive, the math still works out like this. To make money, you need to get views. Therefore, to make more money, you need to get more views and higher retention. But here is the one sneaky secret that nobody tells you at YouTube school. YouTubers are going to hate me for telling you this. Behind every view is a human being who has made a decision to watch that video. Therefore, to make more money, you need to appeal to more human beings. You need to engage them and retain their interest, which means that to make more money, you need to actually give people more of what they want to watch. You need to spend more time engaging them and retaining their interest. And how dare anyone do such a thing? Content should not be made to be enjoyed, especially not by people. It sucks that GLR seems to hang with Ohara so much. IMO, he was cool before he went that route. I would personally argue that I was never cool. I, and probably everyone else who knows me, would probably argue that I was never cool, especially not as cool as Ohara, who has just, and I quote, struck fuckboy bingo. He is a full-time YouTuber, isn't he? Guess he wants to squeeze out as many views until One Piece ends. He might not have anything after that. It's now or never. I get that this is meant to be a negative comment, but it's oddly inspiring. Seriously, if you watching have something you want to do, take this guy's advice. It is now or never. If not now, then when? I know that One Piece isn't going to last forever, and that one day Grand Line Review will die for one reason or another, as will literally every other channel on the platform, because nothing lasts forever. So of course I'm trying to do the best I possibly can whilst I have this opportunity, and so should you. If there is something that you've been thinking about doing but just aren't quite sure about, just do it. Life is too short to second guess yourself. However, life is long enough to continue reading Reddit complaining. I stopped following him after a series of spoiler-suggestive YouTube titles and thumbnails. If a chapter ends in a cliffhanger, and you create a title and thumbnail showing what did not happen, it's still a Spoiler. Yes, you heard correctly. Now, not spoiling someone is officially a spoiler. That's what I have to contend with. If I put a spoiler in the thumbnail or title, then I am the fictional pirate equivalent of a German dictator. And if I don't put a spoiler in the thumbnail or title, then I am still a vicious dictator, but probably of a different nationality. And in general, I just love that there are now people who get angry that I don't spoil them. His Dude in a Room channel is infinitely more interesting than the Grand Line one because he is actually creating good content and doesn't need to clickbait as much. Thank you so much for the kind words about Dude in a Room. I really love this channel and I hope that it provides some kind of insight or entertainment for all of you. I think this all came from Matt Owens' comment back in the Reverie he participated, saying he sent videos from Grand Line Review to his crew to have a good look at character. That kind of attention can go to someone's head pretty hard. So that, weirdly enough, is actually a thing that happened. Many years ago now, Matt Owens, who was a co-showrunner of the live-action One Piece, stopped by the Reverie and said that he watched my videos, which was both flattering and like, oh no. I really hope the cast and crew haven't seen those videos because these days I'm a lot less than proud of them. So if anything, it had the exact opposite effect of giving me an ego. It made me significantly more self-conscious of what I actually put in videos now. Fuck GLR. I'm not sure if he's angry or horny or both. It's probably both. Grand Line Review has been kinda arse even before the clickbait, TBH. Boring content. This is an opinion that I legitimately respect because it makes sense and it's not based on something childish like not enjoying a thumbnail. Most people complaining in this thread follow a very common path. I like Grand Line Review videos, but I don't like the thumbnails, which I think is ridiculous because you're denying yourself content you know you'll enjoy because of something that is mildly annoying at most. Whereas this guy here is just like, no, Grand Line Review was always shit, which at the very least is logical, consistent, and not just throwing a tantrum online. I unsubbed last year because I already started noticing his clickbaity nature and just lower quality content when it came to his chapter review videos. Anyways, Liam is also the most watched One Piece YouTuber because he feeds to the lowest common denominator of the One Piece fan base. So this here, I think, is called gatekeeping. Our Reddit user friend here is more or less stating that a general audience is the lowest common denominator. And as we all know, filthy casuals should not be allowed to enjoy fictional pirate content. It sickens me just thinking about it. All of you lowly peasants watching, you get back in your hole. All content should be structured according to the rigid high-class requirements of the elite Reddit denizens, also known as the closest thing our fanbase has to the world nobles. And the God complex actually makes a lot of sense, considering this comment was made by someone who literally calls himself Jesus. They're like the world nobles, just without the power, which is like the only good thing about the world nobles. I also hate that he doesn't disclose when he's doing a chapter review anymore. That's a classic trap to lure in anime watchers. And he claims he does this because most of his viewer base is comprised of manga readers, and I understand that. I just think it's shitty to put spoilers in a video or thumbnail that is releasing the very same day as the chapter's official publication. So this is something I've tried to explain before, but have probably never quite effectively done. The whole not disclosing a chapter review is a fair point, and here's why I do it. It's not a trap to lure in anime-only watchers. In fact, it would have the exact opposite effect. It would lure them in, they would immediately click off, and that would kill my retention. And to be perfectly frank, Grand Line Review, it just doesn't cater for anime-only watchers anymore, because it just became too difficult. You're all still very much welcome, of course, but I can't chastise what I talk about anymore due to a choice that you've made to stay a year behind current events at all times. But the reason why I don't include the word review is because I think it devalues the video. This might just be a personal thing, but I hate the word review. I get that that's ironic considering that the channel is called Grand Line Review and I have another channel called New World Review, but I have grown to hate the word. Because when people make reviews on One Piece chapters, oftentimes what they actually do is a recap. They go over the chapter events in order, sometimes without much or even any subjective input. And we had a great example before, the guy that got upset that I wasn't literally retelling the chapter in my review. And the terminology has become so blurred over the years that the word review is almost synonymous with recap in this particular fan base. And a recap is not what I provide, so I'm not going to label my video as that. And again, the word review, even when its actual meaning is intended, just isn't something that excites me. I do want to hear people's subjective thoughts on any given thing, but I don't want it to be boxed in by the concept of a review, if that makes sense. I don't know, it probably doesn't. I think I've probably explained that terribly, and I feel like I might be in the minority with this, but to me that word is poison. I don't click videos with the word review in the title, so I don't want to use it in my videos. It's his arrogance that get me. Dude used to be humble and thus lickable. Now he's got his head up his ass and cannot stand to look bad. Probably cares too much about branding. Now I want to make this very clear. I am a 33-year-old man who talks about fictional pirates on the internet. I am not better than you. In fact, I'm not better than anyone, with the sole exception of people who use their finite time on this planet to complain about One Piece YouTubers on Reddit. I don't know, I watched that one video you're mentioning and it was actually very entertaining. I think the majority of fans are fine with what he's doing, or else it wouldn't be working so well for him. And that right there is the whole point. If the concerns people were raising in this thread were actually problematic, then Grand Line Review wouldn't be one of the most viewed One Piece channels on YouTube. If people weren't getting something that they wanted from the videos and getting interested from the titles and thumbnails, then the channel would just have no views and that would be the end of it. But I am still happy to play Reddit's dastardly villain. And as the next stage of my master sellout plan, I have now officially monetized their complaining through this video.